east side, closer to Devastated Coast and Echo HQ that we've seen so many times before. So many.
All right, so it's a fucking Echo ending game 1, huh? Well, game 3 technically.
Cloud9 on the edge of that next circle.
But
this is a crazy rotate, bro.
Watson in order to do it, making up for that lack of shield economy that they.
Chad, if you really think about it, this rotation is like so crazy.
Using the generator to supplement that to keep them safe.
Like, I don't think you guys understand. They just hit an evac from top of command center, got to the bridge of launchpad, Valk ulted from launchpad, and just got to an echo zone before ring 1 even started closing. That is fucking ridiculous.
With a 30-30 and Skull Piercer in hand. Great looks for
that rotate is absurd.
Land in Devastated Coast, so naturally they have that POY position advantage that they were able to set up for quickly.
And EEC are by-sitting here this early into the game, really hoping that the ring pulls into Devastated Coast, because if not, drop
like Monsoon can pretty much, as long as they get an evac out of command center, there is almost any single zone anywhere that they can get to fast with an evac from the height and then a Valk ult.
Especially early enough like this too. Oriole's trying to take a different off angle, Havoc in hand, getting.
It's all good, no worries. It's okay.
Quickly, but he opens
SSG fighting.
The nade, blowing that door wide open, leaving Dropping Gaming as a duo to fight this off.
And now that it's a duo, SSG can and should push the advantage. It is still early enough for them to do without risking a third party, and that's going to continue for about a minute or two. So 120 seconds do SSG have to confidently finish off what they now know is a 2-person squad. They have an indomitable advantage right now, and I'm very surprised, Vicky, to not see them pushing this.
Hey, it is what it is, Rengar.
It's the caustic curse.
That's just what we got to work with, so it is what it is.
Space and finding an opportunity. I saw a shot off to the left side from a team that has high ground there. Dropping
Dig eliminated.
Get eliminated. They clean up that squad quickly. They wanted to make sure that they had the tools that they need just in case a third party could have come from the high ground. But they are safe for now. They're safe to loot up.
Nah, that just doesn't fly.
As we take a look at Moist, who also being able to have the POY advantage over by Echo.
You think Phony is going to be able to make Yanya? Well, at one point it was Yanya. I don't know who lands there now, but you can't claim both. If a team wants to land Devastated, they're just going to land Devastated, and there's nothing you can do about it.
They're not going to be giving up this space, seeing teams like Dark Zero getting pressured out. You mentioned the Trident earlier, and for reasons like this, they were able to take the Trident, move quickly from Mill all the way over to the edge here. Now taking the Gravity Cannon, well, they will be in the line of sight of the squads that have already taken
DZ loves
over
this
the high
spot
ground,
too.
as well as the armory that we saw earlier.
Complexity are taking some shots at this as well, but Dark Zero's move here is a smart one. It's pretty easy to relocate using the gravity cannons, but we very rarely see teams do it because of how much noise it makes, how vulnerable you are when landing. With Bangalore to make up for some of that,
for sure.
Dark Zero again played the positioning game. Vicky, this spot is a terrible place to play from if you want to get kills, if you want to play active, but in terms of spots that are unlikely to get pushed.
Is he aware? I thought he said that he was going to post his POV as a YouTube video afterwards.
Off of the fact that Dark Zero had gotten, I believe it was 10th in that first game there too, so they still have a good amount of that KP to work with if they want to play this patiently for that final circle. Talk about on the other side of things though, Optic putting themselves on the board. Green Wall remains up and strong with the foundation, and with this rotation on the Trident, they're looking to try to approach the circle from that north side. Maybe even try to get that ring console, rather the survey beacon that's to the north side here, if they could get some extra information on where everybody else is settled. And it looks like they actually are opting to take the evac tower instead, so that way they can float overhead by that
Pulls right to C9.
You know, I'm pretty surprised to see this, Vicky, and I'm going to flat out call it as something that Optic could have and should have done better. Hitting the ring console right next door to them would provide so much more information to Optic that they likely would be in a much better endgame position were they to know where this next ring was going. We, of course, are blessed with that information, so let's talk a little bit about this and how it'll impact not just Optics, but a lot of other teams' chances.
Nine Lives doing over here?
Rotating in late, who should actually find themselves right next to a solo number of 9 lives in the next few seconds.
Oh man, even that one member of Optic taking their time to take that evac tower, Optic dropping down on that building over to the side of Launchpad. I know 9 Lives were right by them on the other side here. Native Gaming coming through that
He
choke.
dies on the car. What is he doing all the way over there?
Time to rotate through Cito. 9 Lives being on that south side, exiting out of Barometer. Disguise is nothing to worry about, but something it is nice to know is the Catalyst, Bloodhound, and Wraith. The Wraith being the one true...
He wasn't going... He was going for fucking the Evo Harvester. You can see it on the map here. He just solo drove the car from Barometer to Cito by himself to go for the Harvester. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chieftain.
Running Rampart, and I know this because, well, we've watched a lot of scrims. We've watched them play on Storm Point before.
So I think Bang will fall out of meta in the new changes.
Changed up to Catalyst.
Not right on the first day, but I think over time she will. That's one way to die nasty. Sheesh. I think over time she will. You could start seeing more Valks. You could start seeing more Cat. You could start seeing more Wraith too. Anything that could provide value on like a cross or like a rotation could potentially take over.
The Bangalore smokes. That's something to consider with the Cat wall coming up and the Bloodhound not being able to scan right through that wall once it's already online. Disguise with their rotate on the.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if people tried to run like Valk Seer Caustic or like Wraith Seer Caustic.
That Disguise was trying to take the slow approach to rotate into the circle.
Fascinating to see Disguise still rocking up on it. Not wanting to pick a fight, of course, but very much knowing that the teams ahead of them, like Furia, do need to start making their own moves into the ring. You can't sit here and gatekeep a team forever because it'll ultimately be costing you your own chance of success. Disguised will get a good read on where everyone else is at and likely...
Bro, I'm telling you, an underrated comp that I think could work. Valk, Crypto, Cat. That's my like sneak comp that I like nobody runs that I think could work.
Disguised were rather down and now have an interesting conundrum presented to them. Do you, as Furia or TSM, fight for the high ground where we see LG sat, or take what in my opinion would be the better play and make your way around this rock, playing through the low ground? This approach that TSM could have previously taken, and now Furia can take, gives you one of the very unique spots in the game where you can siege a team like LG.
Care to explain?
Without having to...
With Bang, if Bang falls out of meta, there's going to be less Bloodhounds, like for sure. The only reason people are playing Blood is because you just become a raid boss shooting through smokes. So not as many teams are going to run Bloodhound. Some might go to Seer. Some are probably just going to go off scan completely, which means that the UAV scans are going to have less people going to them. You play Valk so that you can rotate and fly in Zone 3, Zone 4. Crypto so you can hit the UAVs. If anybody runs Watson or anybody runs Caustic, you have the Crypto EMP to just completely nuke their building and get rid of all their defense. You have the Valk to obviously fly in after you get the info. You have Cat for endgames to now separate the zone in half and to be able to hold down buildings and get zone info. And then the Crypto to get like ring 2, ring 3 info. And then your micro info so that you can catwall to where you need to go next. I think that comp could work.
Yes, is a risk as well. It's one that they can control a lot better than how well any other team plays. They can look for, well, a good spot. In fact,
I think TSM is going to go back to Horizon, low key. I think Hal goes back to Horizon.
Yeah, think about all the landing spots. We can land on like one of the staircases. Like we can land one of the staircases. I think all the buildings are taken. I think we have to, or we can land here too. I think that we can live there on my ping when zone closes.
Yeah. Can maybe land under the bridge. That's what I was saying. Your ping.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like Crypto should be able to pick up Evo Harvesters, bro. I feel like that's just like not insanely like OP. I feel like that should just be something he can do.
This dude can see us here. He smoked us. Going out. We're the only team Valk team, so remember that.
Yeah. I think that spot is open.
9 Lives dead.
Dip down a little bit and go back up. Can land on this bridge maybe.
That spot looks open, bro. I'm big. It looks open.
I'm going for it, yeah.
Legacy and DSG eliminated.
I'm landing here.
We're good.
Where's the safe? In the crate?
I have no idea, Robert. No idea, big dog.
This corner maybe? Hey, this corner's pretty good. This corner's pretty good. Find a safe spot. This corner's good.
But bro, just being able to pick up this stuff with Crypto, that's not going to make you red, bro.
Yeah.
Just because Crypto could pick up Evo harvesters with his bot doesn't mean that you're just gonna instantly get 15 more Evo harvesters a game. It's gonna get you like 1 or 2 max extra. The Crypto drone isn't just gonna be able to fly across the map.
By these squads. Meanwhile, Dia, you were talking about the slow rotate over by the other side to try to siege LG. Well, Furia, who tried to do that and
is this live?
Of Launchpad, end up
it is live, but it is a rebroadcast of yesterday.
Catching LG as only a duo left.
Disguised on this rotate as well. Ended up falling.
They played these games yesterday offline.
To catch in the end game. With LG now down a member as well, I hesitate to say that they're going to come out of high ground unscathed, Vicky, especially when we are.
Mike, thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months.
We talked about EEC earlier.
I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Playing up on the high ground in Devastated Coast, saying, please, please, please let the zone pull here. They've got to be very happy with how this has turned out so far, because this is a hard Devastated Coast zone.
Especially from the high ground that they're going to be in, but I do have to highlight C9 called it amazingly where this next circle is going to be pulling. But before we see where their rotate's going to be, Optic Gaming now also trying to figure out a spot underneath the bridge here. Saw the care pack earlier on that had been taken. 14 squads still left here, and this next circle is going to be brutal because you have teams like Optic playing underneath Elevate. Caustic Gas is doing enough of that tick damage. They're set up all over
Optic
the place.
is so late on the zone.
Well,
they just don't really have a choice. They went down Beast and it pulled Devastated, bro. This is a hard rotate from them here.
On that one player that's on the high ground here, that it may be native gaming, but sharing that space is also 8 Gang to the side.
I'm sure in the next few days, probably Slayer. Yo, Sheps with the 20. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Storm Point. It's been working for them so far, but now they're gonna have to push it into overtime because Optic must needs take the fight on high ground, and even that is not enough. Whoever wins on height still has to take at least 3 more fights on low ground to make it into the zone. Everyone knows it. Optic are sprinting past the engagement as Native struggle to find an answer, and E8 evac over it all. Vicky, it is chaos on the north side of the zone.
And this is what we're expecting with the Bangle coming in. Native look like they may be meeting one another in the lobby. They get
Native ripping the seer too, bro.
Some shots while they're still safe without being contested. Their backs with the wall protecting them. Optic Gaming losing out on not playing this as a duo.
A while ago, Enigma. Complexity, EA, Optic, Ape, everybody just got nuked there, bro.
Even with them holding it down and with the caustic traps,
nobody even got the care pack.
But look who is right on top of them. It is Moist, who have managed to climb their way up above, and they have nades while they're at it.
Can Moist do what Optic could not? At this point, I'm also asking myself if it's worth it. The high ground that Moist have is arguably more valuable than the inside of this building. Unfortunately, this has now become a focal point for the entire lobby. The high ground is no longer in zone come next ring, and while you've pointed out C9, who have predicted the zone immaculately, they're the next inheritors of a lot of pressure with teams like Dark Zero, who are sitting uncontested on the west side of this zone, now looking directly at C9.
It's just so crazy. We're going from 14 squads to 7 squads.
EEC co-holding this building with SSG, and then a team above SSG
EEC,
on the roof.
Because this is a team that lands in this PO1,
you definitely could, Butter.
They are rocking all blues. They're already at the natural health disadvantage.
Definitely could.
Of Evil Shields and even perks alone. So now backing away, they're really going to have to rely on Carter to build up this space here, put in some extra pressure with the Caustic Gas before the enemy team on the other side, who has that Caustic, tries to build up that same space. Now playing off the high ground, you could see TSM have also rotated from their safe spot. They booted Complexity out. They were able to take care of Complexity before finally rotating here to the south side when that circle was closing originally. And to their north is Sentinels, who are also trying to split their attention onto TSM, as well as Space Station, who are playing on their south.
SSG jumps off and takes the bottom.
Controlled a lot of area. They are bowling low, however, and Brex has very little cover to play with. Even playing with fire in the window.
The Fresh just... No, he's still here.
Everybody dropping off of low ground now will put teams like Moist in a difficult spot, but they've taken a little bit of ground ahead of EEC. The Thermite is doing work. Moist could find 3 KP before it's all said and done.
Oh, once he drops down here, boys, a thermite was able to.
And they take the height? No way. What a fucking rotate from Moist, bro. Holy shit, that was super well done. That early thermite did so much.
And Space Station are sharing that space while nobody's contesting C9 from the side.
Moist rotates here, chat, were fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal endgame rotates.
C9's perspective, because they don't have to fight for this building. Moist finally gets to take a look back at them, but cannot afford to focus on sieging C9, who have a caustic on top of all of this. Good nade, but it's not going to find purchase onto Sorcerer or Chaotic. The next zone now promises even more carnage, Vicky. And I'll say it, Moist are not in a terrible spot to take advantage of this, but the problem is the
still alive though, top 4.
Again towards C9.
Oh no, and with that scan, they know that there's 2 knocked, and that's gonna be the green light for Space Station to immediately fully send it onto Hal. He's playing up the knockdown shields in front of him between Verholz and Reps, and C9 looking at all of this, know that they're not gonna be giving up this space. They're gonna be staying here, settled pretty, while watching the rest of the lobby fight out right in front of them. Our last 4 remaining spots between Moist, Space Station, and the solo that is TSM being Hal, and then C9 to the south. They see
Naughty
TSM
picks
has
up
been
all
eliminated,
3 kills there, bro.
giving up more of this space as they try
that
to
is
swing over to the
massive.
side.
There's very little space for these teams.
That was massive for C9 there because they had 0 kills. They've been in God spot all game and they just got their first 3 kills there, I'm pretty sure.
Safety. You're really wishing you had a Catalyst right around now, but nobody's got that particular benefit with DSG having been eliminated. It's all going to come down to Bangalore smokes for temporary cover and for control of the open space. Bloodhound ults are going to come at a premium.
Am I crazy for thinking, no, not necessarily came up out of nowhere. They played pretty consistent all split, but they weren't like consistent top 5. And they just had like 1 or 2 weeks where they got a top 5. And then the rest of the time they were just like, you know, in the middle of the pack. SSG, oh my God, phony. Jesus Christ. Moist versus C9.
A game that C9 desperately needed, and MT's looking out for blood. He climbs up a
nice.
tries to take a different angle.
Oh my God, C9 got decimated here in this fight. Moist winning that game, chat, is absurd.
For those of you who are Sentinel fans going into today, this is one of those rosters that needs to not only perform well,
I mean, it's okay, Skills. I personally would rather have it be like anywhere else, to be honest. I like to travel for the lands. I'd rather not be in the place that they have the land. And I also know that it's like obviously more expensive here, so there are even more people who are like hindered financially that like can't come. You know what I mean? And I only really ever get to travel for land, so like I don't mind traveling somewhere I've never been instead of like not having to go anywhere for it.
Talk about the early game rotation, diving down to low, taking out Sentinels, and then stealing this one away here is something that will hopefully benefit them as we get towards that late game. But for teams that need to find their way to late game, A-Gang struggle here in the midst of Oxygen.
Unfortunately for them, after losing one, Ape Gang are getting aped, and they've got to retreat fully.
Damn.
They fall to Oxygen.
Ape Gang gets torched here, huh?
Things are not looking too good, and the double AR loadout almost takes them down. Finn's got to be a bit careful with how wide we swing this, but in a 3 versus 2, you can kind of throw caution to the wind. Oxygen should be picking up another kill momentarily, and it'll mean they've got an additional 2 points to herald them in.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see one in Greece anytime soon. That's for damn sure.
Have they predicted? Are they ready for Xset?
That's for damn sure.
Like this evac, it can be heavily punished here, but the trigger is pulled just a little too early. Obviously, you won't see that rotation come through furthermore for Oxygen, but
the price of gas, I have no idea. I don't even have a car. I don't even have a car, big dog.
Still, a free evac is, I'll still say, a benefit.
This is a weird day of Apex.
Did I have any clue that Lamb was in LA before they announced it?
And now we've seen Oxygen
not at all.
Try and evac away from Xset and then hand them a jump tower. Not very often that we get to see teams taking resources away like this, but in the midst of all of this fighting, that's almost a byproduct of a very aggressive game that we've gotten so far. Many teams that are trying to rotate into a very familiar Echo HQ zone are getting caught out because
yeah, it was confirmed last week, Gary.
Guards down a bit too much.
Play Apex tweeted it like a week ago.
Can come through definitely from the changes alongside the edge play, but Dia, you can at least explain to us where maybe some of those teams exist.
Bro, I can't believe that in regional finals we get back-to-back echo zones. That's fucking ridiculous.
You're, as Oxygen say, hoping that you've got an end game over here, and
That's
are a
fucking
couple end
ridiculous.
zones, that this can be. With this next zone showing us, there aren't quite as many. There's of course everything that's happening over here. I'm not even going to circle it because it'd just be more clutter on the map. But where everyone is, yeah, that's one place that the zone can end. Legacy are playing for an interesting one that actually has won them multiple games over in champs and at playoffs. End zones like this will provide for teams like Oxygen that then get to approach from a place where no one else is.
Well, because the zones just always go there, anything that goes coastal, anything that goes echo, or anything devastated, I consider them all the same.
Pylon can stick around for placement points and get a free rotate with an evac or Valkyrie into wherever the end zone is.
Watch Furia, because they got caught out on their rotate, and now they're just ratting because they lost their third player. I literally consider coastal, echo, and devastated all the same. It's literally all one POI because 90% of the zones go there. TSM fights.
They're in the midst of pushing into, well,
that boy Claim was trying to rip a Phoenix there.
Coming into the action here,
and
now just cleaning up the remnants of this IMC Armory, a free position for their next move in.
And Zephyr, you heard us talking about this last game, but the IMC Armories, they're not in the glorious state they used to be in, where you could sit there and bunker up until the late game. They've got so many points of access.
Does he get scanned?
An IMC Armory is a stopgap for where your next rotation will take you. The Native, unfortunately, get caught out before that next move happens. Dark Zero have now sat themselves right
what up, Jay?
Their Aussie buddies, as over in Echo HQ.
Yeah, Disguise plays super edge
Zone, however,
on zones like this.
A great spot for Dark Zero, as you and I both know that ultimately we're pulling a little further away from the big Echo HQ building and at least towards the gravity cannon in some capacity.
Dark Zero here, after losing out what could have been great positionings, forced to contest for this low ground, which optimally isn't the worst. You still have survival position, but when we talk about that climb up going into the late game, it is met with the fervor of so many of these exterior teams having such great angles.
Doesn't look like Ape Gang fared too well after they were unfortunately pushed back by Oxygen, but 9 lives are the beneficiaries with yet another Trident. We'll see how they make use of it. Perhaps it's another express delivery into the hands of Legacy.
That corner is pretty fucking shit, bro.
From that side of the ring, Dark Zero still bunkered up. Everybody holds their breath for the next.
This is a rebroadcast from yesterday, chill. They had to play regional finals off stream. So this is the only POV, is the main broadcast.
As it stands for the late game and likely fight.
Yeah, I know, Ryan. Same with Xset.
Very few
Same with
buildings
Xset.
remain in the POI.
Now, when we talk about buildings in POIs here, Disguised have no skin in the game whatsoever, still within that lagoon area, taking advantage of a lot of that slowing rotate and the assist in terms of building those resources that we discussed earlier. It's one of the few teams that are currently sitting on triple reds, and
Kraber
now is of course finding that further transition to see how a team can fight
Kraber
and work their way in. A great example of that being Moist from last game. They had some of the first pickings to these early zones going into game 3.
Chaka, thank you for the follow. Merkena, thank you for the follow.
Back into where our zone was finishing.
Welcome in, welcome in.
Able to do so.
Yeah, these guys were running Lifeline the last couple weeks.
Keep their eyes out on Oxygen. Still plenty of time for Oxygen to rotate, give it a nice evac, but the ring going to be the thing that ultimately draws these two squads together. 9 Lives and Oxygen both will have to combine forces in an odd way over by the gravity cannon, with Optic, Furia, LG, and Disguised all making the same route in.
Yeah, I mean, he recorded himself aware. He wasn't live doing it. He recorded himself.
And pull a late evac or Valcolt into the zone. But for that, you've got to be alone, and Furia is far from it. Facing
damn, LG. Tough fucking go, huh?
Now completely knocked out, edges upon the ring for
both
Furia.
South zones, they got fucked.
In the 2v for Funk, though. Great coverage in terms of finding those cracks. This is the minor delays that they might need to find survivability, but still a lack of an answer for how they need to transition
both duos
to this next zone. Even if they do get to follow up behind Furia here, we're talking about 30 seconds for them to find what is hopefully something of not even just a nice edge position. That's already taken. They need to fight for even something like that.
Looking at how Furia are playing this, it's pretty clear Furia are a duo as well. These two teams that are facing off against each other don't actually have more firepower one way or the other. With the banner recovery of Sweet, it's nice that LG get to rotate away, but Furia are not in a better position as a result. They're going to have to move towards the south, rotate through.
So TSM slid down, cleared Armory, and then came all the way back up. And nobody else on the south side took this spot from them. That's insane.
Right here, TSM, no side of that hill is available for play going into that next zone. Could potentially be a larger evac or major rotation to save them going into the future here. But ultimately, if they are to walk in directly,
2 Kravers this game too. Optic and 9 Lies.
For now, though, you see that Wraith. It means only one thing.
The single shot from dropped wasn't quite enough. Not connecting.
This is a tough spot from Optic too.
Optic to play off of the low ground.
This is a tough spot from them.
They have to fight Disguised for this height at some point, but it doesn't need to be now. TSM, however, their agenda has certainly been pushed to the front as a Valk ult right on top of the gravity cannon gives them an uncontested landing.
Well,
but
Cannon's really not that great.
Angles. I think they spot one just as they land. It's Oxygen starting to encroach on TSM.
9 Lies now against Optic.
They need to defend the edges.
Oof, they got smoked. Jesus Christ, they got smoked.
Of 9 Lies out here on the edge, and on top of that, they secure a building that defends them from the damage that could be going alongside remaining members. Losty, and of course out there Disguised as well. But Furia, even as a duo, continues to ream and beam, lay down pressure here.
It's crazy to think about that 9 Lives was on this hill, and instead of holding it, they slide all the way into Pylon to fight. At the end of the game, they would be able to hold everybody out from here and just fight Cannon.
And Furia do not have the manpower to watch every angle. This Madness looks
nah, not technically Narcotics. They played these offline last night.
Behind, and we still got the LG Disguised fight happening here, with neither team ultimately benefiting from this.
Yo, Exala, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate the resub. Congrats on coming to LAN. You could like take a picture of like my ass or something when I walk away.
Up here shortly, they have double evacs available for a larger rotation ahead if they are to drop down. Well, all but
Dark Zero eliminated.
We saw it of TSM, but for that feed up there, Dark Zero eliminated by Samsung early here. That's a huge monster. You no longer have
no re with the 9 months. Optic versus the duo.
As they lose one, it is on a contest for the Ridge.
They still could res.
Against a duo. If Optic can't clutch it now, I dare say that their chances at this game, at the series, are pretty low. DSG rotate up ahead of Luminosity. Can
LG rips the fucking evacs too. They full resed.
With Luminosity following immediately behind them, it is a scramble to get into the ring, and there are very few places that you can really land and make it work. LG zoom past Disguise onto the low ground with absolutely no cover from height to work with, but they aren't focused by Disguise, who have to balance both sides of the equation. Instead, somehow they make their way to relative safety inside of Echo HQ and are now fighting a totally different squad. Oxygen even evacing over all this. Somehow
holy fuck, the rotates.
Themself and everyone else, though, who has come in late here are in terrible angles with notable
one caustic out there and Oxygen's dead.
All sides here. Luminosity just barely getting themselves back up in recovery, now looking below and finding
and just that Oxygen's insta dying
is more vacant than
yo Son of Law with the tier 3 for 26 months. Thank you guys for the resubs.
Look for the corners that be, but
thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
That comes along with it.
Devo has not been working for Optic. That's 2 clips now that we have seen almost used as a zoning tool, keeping people from swinging an angle, knowing that you're walking into a devotion.
Oxygen, the LG dead.
Optic to reset miraculously. Noct may even be able to stick a res. No gold.
Hey, we have there to the sub goal.
They haven't
W.
immediately gone for this.
EEC versus...
E8 have to approach.
Wow, EEC just got literally folded like some laundry. Zach was definitely not happy about that push from EEC. Yo, Devil with the 500 bits. Thank you so much. Hype train. Pog.
E8 finds success against the third party, against EEC, before finally being wiped out by Complexity in the end. But we still subsist with 10 total squads remaining, as we'll choke out the entirety of
they definitely added it recently, Enigma.
You can already see these rotations, Optic right behind one another.
Grabber shots again, not connecting, not giving Optic the necessary openers to find good fights, good kills.
Kobe with the 100 bits.
Need. Right now, only 4 kills.
Shot, thank you guys so much for the love. I appreciate the hype train. Nice.
A team like C9 who have yet to go down. Dropped. Doesn't get hit by the rockets. However, this is them up against DSG once again.
They gotta get the kills.
Double swing from Dropped and Skittles to try and take down one. Complexity are the ones that ultimately fall there.
Nice.
Missing out on Kimchi and
this was a banger game for Optic so far, man. Complexity dead.
Immediately gets melted by Optic, but
they got the kills at least, though. That's good for them. Optic got hella kills there, to be honest. For where they start, to even get those kills is insane. That was like a 10-point game, I think.
The next targets ahead of TSM.
Oh, shit! Java with the banger!
Off with some of the points that we saw from our initial games.
Fuck?
As we look at the other side, the Southern height.
Java, thank you so much.
C9. They were so close to picking up a win in our last game. Can they pull off?
Chat, we need some W's. We need some fucking W's.
Win you the game, but I'll be honest, right below TSM, not exactly one of them.
SSG getting looked down.
A lot of work taking out just a few
Moist dead.
members of SSG.
How Moist wins a devastated coast game, but not an Echo game is just insane.
Now shooting onto Legacy, who absolutely
TSM played these really fucking well, though. I'll tell you that much.
Ring is going to pull almost immediately next door to Legacy. It'll be a fight between TSM, XSET, and C9 as to who can live the longest to contest Legacy's position.
I really like this from TSM here, playing off of the very rare pickup of the Valk coming in clutch here to give Verholst the option to find those angles. But with that comes the respect that you see ever so similarly from the
Yo, do you know where C9 lands off spawn? Yo, do you know where C9 lands off spawn?
Nah.
Is anybody in your chat?
Stormcatcher? They get wiped off the map, and it's now TSM and C9 that hold the high ground. TSM's Evo shields are so much scarier as Imperial Hal takes onto the forefront.
Pretty good
Legacy
fucking
are just
rotates,
watching
then, to
this
be honest.
happen, waiting for their chance to third party off of the low ground. Because
Yo,
the
Devil,
zone
thank you for the
is
gifted.
coming to them.
It's a perfect setup as the clean BOI comes into play as TSM are able to clutch up a reps down
2v2
in front of them. Goes for the knock, but I like the switch of an angle, starting to look more towards Legacy, forcing C9 to maybe push into them instead.
They
Kinda
should
saying
C9 swing
coastal.
Legacy, but they do not get a knock instead. Now they've overcommitted onto that side. Naughty's got no health. TSM have all the time in the world, and C9 go down as a duo with the high ground.
Wow.
TSM can still do
winnable.
against Legacy, or is Hal going to clutch it? It's 1v1. Hal's got no shields, but a shield swap comes in.
He's gonna have to jump on him.
Health advantage. Hal's got to drop and take the fight, but Jaguars
Wow.
the caustic barrel takes the win.
Hal almost went nuclear there, too. Well done to stay composed.
Heal it up in the last moments, even with a clutch shield swap in a defense.
Well done.
Sits Legacy down or overplaying.
Yeah, the thing is, Flanders, the thing is it comes down to experience. A lot of decision making in comp is down to experience, right? When there is a lot on the line, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, land spots, people tend to play a lot more passive, right? They play so passive that they play like maximum survivability, and they won't take a risk, they won't make a move unless like they're absolutely forced to. But the teams with the most experience know when they have to. And it's not like, all right, we're going to wait till the very, very last second. They just like make the plays that they need to. and how when there's so much on the line, he always fucking knows like when they need to do these things. And it's like the perfect time. Like they make the pushes and they aggress the teams that like are playing way more passive. When it's like in scrims though, they can't do that because people are playing just as aggressive and shit. The biggest things now with that change is, does Aurora keep playing Lifeline and does Matafe keep playing Lifeline?
It is. We all know if
we'll
you
see.
Play it, very difficult.
But I agree. I agree that the perk system makes it easier for the game overall to get balanced. Like nerfing characters, buffing characters is like so much easier because of the perk system now that I feel like we could start seeing a lot more like changes in meta more often. I'm curious. I want to ask you guys this, chat. Would you rather have Apex go the way of like, let's say League of Legends, where they have like an absurd amount of characters? Like, would you rather a new character come into play every season? Like every season is just a new character in Apex? Or would you rather like 2 or 3 characters just get completely different kits?
Had gotten ahead of Ape Gang and Optic in that.
Obviously, the strength of rotating early is that position, but sometimes these pulls have been devastating, especially when
I think that would be goated. Like they play a whole season and like the 3 least picked characters in the game just get a fucking character change. Literally change their kit completely and make them viable. Make them decent. Every season, just reassess like, all right, who's ass now compared to this? Revenant is literally the prime example of a character that got its entire kit just changed.
It's going to be one of those things where, is it enough today?
Like Mirage, 100% needs a new kit. Vantage, I think, as well.
The downfall of other teams here to put your team on top, it's just way too risky. As we look at teams like Complexity with their rotate playing on the low ground of the tunnel, going to be playing more so on the edge, because we can expect the circle to continuously pull more so to the north, unless it pulls by the rock side of Overlook on the southeastern side. But even more teams with their slow rotate, talking about 9 lives who are leaving Grandma's house. LG
And Ballistic. Those could be the 3. Ballistic, Vantage, Mirage. All 3 get a complete kit change and made more viable. Boom.
Missing out on some of these Hemlock shots, completely getting burned for it, but Funk coming in with the bow check. Getting that knock is going to open things up here for LG to move in.
Also a notable knock with the Sentinel right above as well. I think this is just another showcase of what the conversation was about. Early care package weapons with blue shields. It is definitely a recipe for disaster for the team you're fighting against. And of course, that means that LG are going to take advantage of that as best as they can, swinging with 70 from across the way. Sweet getting up on top, Hemlock in the car, as they'll be content to just work on getting their purples, show some presence here, as 9 lives look to back off.
Bullying them from even getting information too, because now LG is going to be able to get
the fact that XSET split the POI
scan, some extra Evo
with
charge. Teams like Ape Gang with the scan see a team that's already inside of the building right in front of them. Could be Space Station.
These guys rotated with literally a naked Nemesis and 4 cells
that have already taken control over that rotate that we saw earlier, leaving quickly from Fragment. And now having to play off this low ground, but this is the type of circle right there where you could expect a lot of teams to coexist in that final circle.
It absolutely is. There's a lot of places, a lot of layers to it as well. So sometimes it's a matter of the decisions of who ends up being on what staircase next to one another, because a team
that is a
like
very early Caustical.
That Caustic to just hold this space. It also, in an interesting way, is what Drop said. Because you have a Caustic and so many people have a Caustic, it makes it a little bit less valuable. Consider a team like TSM who's been running the Bangalore and the Bloodhound and the Valkyrie in that
you know me, Stone. I used to be Himothy on Seer.
But without that, it'd be very, very difficult to go up against Ape.
If Seer comes back into meta, I'll tell you one team, definitely SSG. Phony was a good Seer back in the day too. I bet you he would run Seer again.
More building heavy, a lot less long range shooting, and they've made the changes to prepare for that.
Yep, obviously Watson too.
Space right underneath the building that Ape Gang was looking at originally.
For sure.
Caustic traps that were set up there now are going to be able to get deleted. But this is a great spot. We see a lot of teams usually...
Hear me out. I get that, Flanders. All right, let's watch this fight real quick. Hold on. I'll save that thought.
Over by the outskirts of Overlook. No other team in the area could contest this. So this is a safe fight to take for now.
TSM up on top. Sentinels trying to get involved here. RK in the middle of the building, but look at the disparity. It's purples versus blue. That represents 75 extra health that TSM can burn.
Sentinels is getting smoked.
Still match up with Sentinels, so it's going to be an uphill battle for them in more ways than one. Hal, he did it again last game. And
yeah, Sentinels just got smoked. Chachalina.
Doesn't even worry about the.
All right, so back to what I was saying. This might be a hot take. Okay, you guys give me your thoughts. I think that Seer gets like so much unnecessary hate because it was paired with Cat. Like the shooting diamonds through Cat walls, that was cringe. But before Cat, like it was definitely very apparent where a Seer was, that you can just like break the Seer and it's like not as much of a fucking not like factor in the fights. I think Seer got way more hate because the combination of Seer and Cat was cringe. But just Seer, and that's it. It like, as someone who played Seer, being able to hit a good Q on somebody that you already cracked and like target out a character to get an initiation in your fight, that was the skill gap in the character, right? Being able to like scan around you, also being able to read the entire fucking, like, when your hands were out, being able to read, like, okay, there's 3 people on that top floor, 3 people on the bottom floor, middle floor is free. Like, that was in part a skill gap. That, like, required you to, like, be good with the character and understand. Same thing with being able to Q and being able to, like, throw a good ult and knowing, like, okay, I need to put it behind this piece of cover or else, like, it's gonna get broken. Like, there were a lot of elements that, like, you know, just a normal bozo could not just go on Seer and dominate. But the Cat Seer meta was just cringe because you could just throw the fucking Seer anywhere and just shoot through the fucking diamonds. That's my opinion.
We could hit ring console night up for it, but
that's just me though.
I'm trying to just study the map to see where people are right now.
There's one team Overlook.
Well, Moist, actually, smart call there. C9 was well rotated, as they were pointing out. It was Legacy who have made their...
Drop your opinion on the state of Apex in 1 sentence. All right, hold on. Just to clarify, are we talking about the state of competitive or the state of the game in general?
The only team to still rock that Wraith here too, so that's gonna
as a whole. Okay, you ready? Please fix ranked. Please fix ranked.
The natural rock form to use that to get out of their line of sight. Meanwhile, another fight happening on the northern side of Epicenter. Uphill, it's going to be Dark Zero trying to take control over this building. That is going to be 9 lives have already situated themselves there. And on behind 9 lives, it's going to be Legacy. So whichever of these teams try to actually fully commit first will get inevitably third-partied by Legacy on the other side of that building.
Fighting first sometimes just is a death sentence, and it may not be immediate, but the cascading elements of that fight usually have dire consequences. So
I ain't really played What's Wrong With It. There's 48 cheaters every game, and in order to get points, you need to drop 69 kills plus win. If you get a second place and you don't have at least 10 kills, you're getting literally 0. You're only gaining points if you win the game with 46 kills.
Overall, as we get
the way the points are distributed and how much points you get have literally nothing to do with placement. Literally nothing to do with placement. You can get a top 5 and lose points at the pred level if you don't have 10 kills to match it. DSG on the fight though. Versus Furia. 2v2 type shit?
Having the advantage before trading out Timmy here, and Timmy looked like he did have the gold knock too, so they can't get him back up just yet and decide having to play this safe while enemy heals up with the shield bat.
They did lose Madness, though, so can they get him back is the question. Just trying to throw some nades. Maybe they can bait it out a little bit, but just going to play the shield, most likely. Enemy in design, they've got more than enough damage. And let's not forget about going into the Void, one of the only immunity frames in all of Apex Legends. We rarely get to see it, but design is...
Ew, Keon with a swing. DSG goes down in that fight to Furia. Wow. And now Moist running him down. GG's.
As I mentioned, the cascading effects... Who hears it? Well, Moist.
Yo, great with the 22 months and Rick with the 24. Thank you so much. I appreciate the resubs.
On the death
Thank you, thank you,
boxes.
thank you.
Perfect timing as they waited in silence for the third party, and now they get to profit on their rotate with Epic.
Welcome back, welcome back. 2 years, Rick. Appreciate you, big dog. And great with almost 2 years. Fuck yeah. Welcome back, welcome back.
Next, and with TSM calling in an evac. Of course, it's not Storm Point, no Valkyrie here. They're taking to the skies to maybe see if they can get into a better position, but their evac tower gets destroyed. That may have been Complexity that have been looking at them the entire time.
Is this my Rampart lobbies in normal pub games this week?
Now TSM gonna have to make a tough cross here on the low ground.
The risk of people in that position being able to shoot them down. Now they've got to
Hal's angle here is everything. Hal has to get a massive opening for his team. That's not bad. That's not bad either.
Definitely wants to push this. Sees another bit as well in an opening with the Prowler, but the Bangalore ultimate, while it's bought them a little bit of time,
bro,
it doesn't seem like it has gone too much. It's risky to fight here.
Wow, they almost won that fight off just sheer Hal damage. Jesus fuck.
They will not claim match point
wow.
Here, at least in game number 5.
They could have got match point there too.
Yes, he left 2-1, but the cost to gas is just so much takedown.
Wow.
These aren't what the
bro, that fight, realistically, TSM should have 0 chance. Literally 0 chance. They should have 0 chance of winning that fight there, but that's just halal diff. That's actually just halal diff.
On the other side of Moist, going to be able to take control of over that bridge that Legacy had given up to Moist earlier.
No matter what, we're playing another game. That would have happened if TSM had won. However, that would have secured them the win, and we would have been playing one more game, game 6, for placement. That would determine who would ultimately qualify for LAN. Now, we're playing another game, but we may keep on going. That is match point in Apex Legends. We go till we have a winner, but we play at least 6. Oxygen Esports trying to climb up in the ranks as well. Aiden will find some damage around the box.
C9 and Oxygen battling out. That's that tight shit though. And that's a massive fight right there too, because C9 and Oxygen are right next to each other in the fucking overall leaderboards to go to LAN. That's massive for C9 to take them out there.
0-4 to drop down from the high ground. It is 9 lives with the blue Evo shields that have come in at the perfect time. They need to capitalize off of this, but they lose out on so much HP. No shields on all players of 9 lives right now. As
they run up on these either.
Get a knock onto 0. Huge knock here. They finish him off, and Jen on the other side does.
Jen raid boss.
Literally so
wow.
low.
They get 2v3.
Member as Jen slides in, but he can't get res. It is Sykes, the last one alive for Dark Zero, but the circle is closing in behind his back.
Unbelievable. You can see how chaotic it is as this late
rotation
continues. Sykes trying to just hold on for DZ, but Moist are ahead. And they found a great spot up here on high. They could play this ridge, and they could see from above. And this is going to be so good for MT. Trying to pick up KP as well. They're on purples and looking to maybe get more. They get Yanya. That's a Legacy.
Bro, MT might actually be... MT might actually be the most underrated IGL in the world, bro. His fucking end game calls of like where they should land and where they should play are actually just like impeccable. Their end game rotates, bro, like ripping a fucking zone 4 evac and just like landing flawlessly. Ultimate height, multiple games. And get wet they do, Vicky. As they rain down shots onto the low ground. They pick up the kill on the fun FPS.
They saw this game from right below them here. With 11 squads left, they see how many squads are sharing that building. And by the way, it's over 5 to 6 teams in that building on the outskirts of Climatizer alone. Look at this, LG right below them, Optic as well. Complexity have now moved from the fence line, and they get taken out by Moist. Optic Gaming get eliminated here with 9 squads left.
You shall
Complexity, Optic dead.
Be known that we are up above.
Dude, I think Vicky does such a great job. Vicky and Rainday is a go-to duo. I fucking love watching them.
They do something crazy here. I think it's possible. They're second place right now with 40 points, Vicky. 9 squads left. That's easily enough. I think TSM were on
I think he said, Perez, I think he said that he was going to do like a live watch party like somewhere in Florida or some shit.
2 teams on match point after this.
He got taken out in the middle of the gondola. That is so unlucky. Oh, he said bye. Or my Uber driver taking me. Naughty may see him back in the lobby because he gets
not the Uber driver.
Chaotic, sliding through the fence line, trying to escape the onslaught of damage from the circle. Literally one shot, he manages to slide through for now, but the ring claims Cloud9. 7 squads left, and LG as a duo now after losing
XA,
out on
EEC,
Funk,
and Cloud9 eliminated.
Messily find their way into that next circle, but they're in the line of sight of squads like Space Station, Native Gaming, and even Ape Gang inside the truck.
My goodness, Gilderson's still alive. Moist still getting placement points. I'm not sure it's enough, though, especially with 8 Gang holding it out. Moist Esports goes down with 42 points. They will not be on match point. I don't think anyone else can do it at this time.
Good hold from E8 there.
Sweet,
that was solid.
LG still alive. SSG as well.
Sweet's going to die here now from the window.
Are your final 4 teams here in match number 5, Vicky?
He just swung a fucking full family.
They're going to have to move. SSG seem like they're in the perfect position. But because they're in the middle as well, though they have the most time in zone, it almost guarantees that one of these teams is going to have to push them first.
Oh my god, massive nade.
Huge beams coming in. Phony trying to get that follow-up here, playing off the side of the tower. Native Gaming, the only team to bring out that Loba, by the way, have not denied themselves that loot. They have the Moby right in front of them for some extra makeshift cover, and Rambo's got the Kraber in hand with 4 bullets left.
Star in so many ways. When you think of Rambo, you think of the ability to show up and clutch. You think of the hair as well.
These are the tough moments, chat, as a caster. Where, like, it's an end game and there's literally nothing to say. Like, you just gotta come up with just shit to say.
Maybe Elevate say, we want to play for something. We want to take matters into our own hands, and we're going to be the ones to push SSG. That means now they've taken 0 damage and gotten 3 kills, and it's Native who are late to the party. Elevate. Vicky, they're looking like they're going to try to do it, but it's 1 kill already from Luxferty. And Elevate,
wow, broken swap.
Survive. Will Native have been able to push?
Wow.
Grabs a second one, it's Sap.
Native wins that too.
Gaming will take the win. Rambo and squad will clutch it up yet again.
That's insane.
Absolute levels for Native as they were sitting in 7.
Hey, I appreciate that, Perez.
Before that dub. We go next here.
I appreciate that, bro. That's a hell of a compliment. I think a good thing that me and Wig do is that, you know, we can come up a lot with like the random stuff to like say or to talk about when there's like nothing going on. But like the second there's like a swing or a fight, it has no matter what the fuck we're talking about. It instantly just stops right into like the fight. It doesn't matter if I'm mid-sentence. Like it's just cut instantly.
That point. And so
now the casting is from yesterday too.
They're absolutely taking advantage of this fight, even closing in the space as they should, just trying to prevent Disguise from trying to get a full reset. It's the ego check, forcing Disguise to not only back away
our
from
international
Archer, but
scrims
to now
usually
take their time to wrap around the long way into where that next.
I'm gonna be honest. I think they're hit or miss, just like any other scrim, because at the base level, they're literally just scrims, right? For some people, they could be playing in the middle of the night. For some people, it could be the evening. And for others, it could be like absurdly early in the morning, which all 3 of those could hinder performance. And then on top of it, you have double blocks. So the first block, you know, the 10 teams playing in it that might be playing the second block might just be burnt out by the second block mentally, and on top of being tired, that they just play like shit anyway. So they're extremely hit or miss. Are they doing 2 sets a day? Yes. The first one starts at 7 a.m. PST, and then the second block is at 9:30. And then you have ping differential. Yes. I mean, I would guess not even just the Japanese ODST, like a lot of teams, not even just the Japanese teams. A lot of teams will probably come to NA and boot camp early.
Doesn't even look like a lick of damage has been put down by Zero.
Yo, what up, hype man? Appreciate that, big dog. I'm gonna turn my blinds up. Hold on.
That is Ape Gang, by the way, inside of this house with Exet looking with hunger in their eyes, maybe if they could try to take some shots here.
The Dark Zero is on.
Oh, that's the best part, is literally the contests and the regional shit talk. That's the best part.
To find the Evo cache to get them up to already
8 game or 6 game, I would probably guess 6 game. I can ask Wig. Yo, do you know if for international scrims, is it 6 games a set or is it 8? Probably 6, right?
It's 5 hours, so I'm not sure for 2 sets. So I don't know.
I probably guess 6.
Dark Zero looking at EEC, who had made their slow rotate away from
Land is May 2nd to May 5th.
They're going to get gate kept by Dark Zero and now are forced with full blue Evo shields, now noting that they're going to get Evo shield checked by Dark Zero, who have the advantage to now back away and take that circle damage and take a slower rotate.
Hope you're having a good day, hype man. Much love.
This is perfect there, and this is going to cost the resources, of course, of EEC, who have had their delay more notably set up when it comes to the edges of that zone. And for Dark Zero, though, these are the benefits that will continue to extend. Now talking about the chokes ahead here. We understand the applying pressure behind, but having this advantage going into that next fight is going to be huge, especially when they start to breach the edges here. As long as, well, what looks like their backside is completely clear.
Good info here too, DZ. This is the importance right here with the Evo caches and the way that they've been able to make that slow rotate. This works perfect into the DZ playstyle as they've adapted so quickly to Season 20. They do get pinged from behind though. I did see that 30-30 shot.
Uh-oh, LG and C9.
Still waiting by the train tracks of Fragment. LG engaged on this fight. They're waiting patiently by the rock. It looks like C9 are right next to them. It was waiting by that Evo cache to try to catch an unexpected squad, but look at the huge nades. Sweet.
The final day is on Cinco de Mayo, Jay. Literally, match point finals is Cinco de Mayo.
Sweet is literally 1 HP. Bango called in. The knockdown shields coming in clutch. The insurance policy.
Wow, Cloud9 eliminated.
C9, they get eliminated. Saved by TSM Hell himself. As
Sweet was about to get swung and killed there, bro.
Caught between a rock and a hard place there. What was the peak around that gas? Comes back to bite them in the face of a Bloodhound. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't get much easier for teams like Disguise. Now, from above, Legacy have their pickings. A crack found, and even just but 20 damage descend on that knock. They barely miss out on that full.
Oh, man. Legacy on the high ground now.
That's insane.
Uncontested from the big mod choke. For now, though, Legacy could easily just wrap around here if they want to.
We'll see, Jay.
We'll
see. I'm built for longevity, so.
Between everybody in the canyon. Now Yanya gonna be able to smoke away, see if they can take some of this circle pressure. Yeah, it's just round 3. It does make your eyes water, but they still are right there next to the.
I'm built forward tough.
It might be a bit hot, but not quite enough there. Just a bit of a sunburn as they make their way across. For the other side of our zone, though, it's chaos galore here. Xset notably making their way up directly to try to pressure into this choke that we set up far
Xset should pick up these kills.
Still, with this minimal of zone pressure, like we saw with Legacy, they have to worry about the prior cave system alongside the guy, even with scans on the other side.
Damn, they slid down for it and lost their choke.
Crazy here. Ultimate Accelerate going to be able to be popped by Nox, so that way he can get that bang online. Boot out Native if they can. That's going to be their Hail Mary when this circle closes in. Look how many
betting $500 Greek loses his voice before you at land. I mean,
this is insanity.
If you want to lose that bet, I guess. I haven't lost my voice at any of the lands yet. Wig is the one that loses his voice, not me.
I do worry, though. We did get a sneak peek at that map with Furia being very present here on this low ground. Make one wrong move, one far send, and that's an immediate knock from the likes of, well, and through how they're just barely finding a presence of safety back. Reps now set up above once again with that Mozam Digi combo.
Furia with their best roach impression, climbing up by the ledge of the cliff here, looking for an opportunity to find an angle.
Oxygen dead. Xset picked up a full wipe on him, bro.
And they know exactly the approach that Furia wanted to go for. And with TSM playing so patiently, they still have the double blue with Hal being on purple as he's been doing so much poke pressure, leaving one at 1 and the follow from Reps. The synergy. Not surprised, but it's a gift here as TSM see them try to fly through. Let's jump into a listen in with TSM with the circle closing in behind them and more squads landing in front of them.
Fight each other.
We're safe on us for now.
They're safe on me. I'm safe on us
on the right here. They're gonna die for kills.
Anyone have ultic cells? Anyone have ultic cells?
No. I got a smoke on us.
Smoke that.
I have to smoke on us. I only have 1 smoke. I have 2 ultic cells I can drop.
Yeah, drop it. Drop it.
Drop both. I drop both.
Listen, we're full health.
Under us, I think.
Yeah, no.
I have no smokes right now, guys.
Okay. I think we have to drop down here. I think we have to drop. Maybe play on me. Actually, play on me. Come to me.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Under the building in front of us.
Look. Evan, you just jumped down.
I fell.
We're good. Look at these guys. They're fine. right.
Shoot the right.
Modern, thank you for the 300 bits.
Flash, blood out! Flash blood out!
I can't see him.
I got him. Behind the fucking.
Big push that maybe.
Finish him down. We don't need to push that.
Looking for it. Hey, to finish. At the bat, I'm one.
I'm safe here. I'm full safe on me.
Yeah, full safe. I'm full safe.
I still have Bangle for this. We can play on the side of the building.
Look, it's a duo. It's a duo on the right. It's a duo on the right. It's a duo on the right. We need to get them killed.
Hal literally yelling that the Bloodhound is one, and both of them saying, we can't see him, so Hal takes matters in his own hands and wide swings and gets the knock.
100 down, crack blood on.
We can push up with Bangle.
No, we don't need to push that.
Probably, Brandon.
Someone was behind this tree.
There is. Can you smoke that angle so I can scan the building, please?
Yeah.
Or smoke right here. Smoke right here, maybe.
Okay, I don't have a smoke now. I just smoked it like he's...
You have Evan falling, not saying that he fell, and Hal is telling Evan that he fell. Like, Evan, you just fell. And then Reps just goes,
Where do we play then? If we...
I fell.
I'm down to cross down. I'm down to cross down.
Nothing this.
Yep. Looking. 100 caustic. I'm gonna shot on the window.
96.
I'm gonna down to the window.
No, you're not.
I'm batting him.
oh my god, how did he not die there on that
I'm
cross?
I'm pumping that.
I got kidnapped.
I'm safe on me.
He got
I'm
kidnapped?
down. That's all you guys. There's a 2-man.
I'm dead. Play your life off.
It's two.
Bro, like... Oh, man.
Wow.
And we go again. TSM not only with the kidnap, but kidnapping their opportunity to win on match point is the wonderful Wraith plays from Design coming in from Disguise as they move.
But Design is a menace. Like, you'd think he'd want to keep that portal for endgame to like have a portal to get more placement, but instead this guy just loves doing fucking in-game kidnaps. He loves going for it. Bro, Waltzy just got flattened by Koi through that fucking window. Holy fuck. Nefile Melinas.
It doesn't get much easier.
Look, Wraith stocks up. That's
No.
all I know here. Disguised. Lots of fans coming in to look at this team succeed. LG fighting for their life on the low ground here. Managing to get that scan by the rocks. But with the Beast of Hell activated and still getting pinged on the other side, they know that they are pinched here. It's Disguise right behind LG, Legacy right in front of them. Disguise holding split angles here too. 9 squads left, and the majority of these teams are sharing the real estate inside of Geyser.
For DSG, looking low, but having the perfect setup on the edge of the wall there. It is another wealth of points for them across their KP. Now for Moist, swinging outside. You found the damage early, but you weren't able to follow through for Xset. What could have been is even still a punishment for Nocturnal, but a 2v1
It's actually fucking insane that they got the entry knock, they reset, and then they kill him later. Wow.
So unfortunate here, but Moist stays on top now. Clearing out that entire building means that they'll have some freedom to reset as this final circle is closing. Final circle.
Nah, he uses a translator, Gotham.
Disguise Legacy, Moist dropped in Space Station, and the solo that is.
What up, Sarah? How are you?
Right below everybody. Look at Keon.
Hope you're doing
just
well.
minding his own business.
I don't know if it's due to the pressure, but Designful with no white health is driving me insane here. Hasn't been able to likely find the resource, and there you can see as we tune on down the low. Yes, nothing to be had here.
Another fucking portal.
Gas trap would be enough, but can he get?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. They could have jumped low ground and killed the rat and been fine, and kept the portal. That portal was.
Getting that knock onto Design was huge.
Yeah.
They finally found the rat that was Furia. Timmy cleans that up. Extra KP here for Disguise. And Space Station with the scan. See the team right below them. Chaos.
What was that portal, bro?
Are left. Legacy on the other side. The Space Station have the high ground. Disguise playing outside the building on the low ground.
From above, though, this stack is so
Design is still alive, but like, my God, they could have just had a portal here.
To make an exit here for SSG with no cover to even exist within. It's the perfect opportunity for them to drop in. Well, find themselves now lower than can be with Crook JE on Orioles
Wow.
working their way out at the very end here. They're more than happy to clean things up, but don't.
Wow, Legacy back to back?
As Legacy from above.
Not back to back, but with their second win?
Legacy with the game
What?
6 win. But can we
What?
talk about all the teams that were still alive? For
They
that
win
final
that
circle?
there?
That was
That's fucking
absolutely
insane.
And the easiest route was Legacy clearing out their back.
That's
also
fucking
not forget
insane,
that,
man.
that was a Legacy taking the circle damage to rotate from the big mod choke. They knew that they had to approach from that angle where we saw teams like even LG give up more of that space when they decided to move up and pressure other squads from trying to traverse to the open ground outside of long sight. Well, so many of these RNG circle pullers thrive out here, but I want to specifically highlight how close the circle is to TSM, who land in Lightning Rod, who also have a circle beacon right there, so they will have information when they go on their rotate, perhaps even through Zoo Station, where LG will also have not only the ring console, but as well as a survey.
Played Origins and got eaten by a hippo.
SSG benefiting in their POI from a proximity to a lot of PvE. I think it was you that mentioned this just as we.
I mean, bro, the
Storm
fact that
being
I've
able
seen
to have
almost
PvE
every single Assassin's Creed get named as their favorite goes to show you how good the fucking series was. I've seen literally 5 different ones of people saying that one's their favorite. That just goes to show you how fucking good it is. That there's not one clear, like, this is the best one by far.
no one else can guess.
There are so many good ones, bro. They all had different elements to them that made them unique.
Able to gatekeep with red evos without spreading a little bit of damage.
Different time periods, different cities, like, it's just goated, bro. It's just goated.
They got a gold extended heavy mag. You love to see it here, but since the circle is pulling all the way to the north, Moist do have to make a little bit of a trek. Looks like we are going to be zooming over to that next circle, playing by the edge, and that also means that Moist will be.
I mean, you forgot the best one, Brandon. You forgot Odyssey. That's just by far the best one.
Moist are one of the few teams that is going to be forced to play really.
You really didn't like Black Flag at all, bro?
Rotational legends. They don't have an easy.
You didn't think the fighting of like the legendary ships was just like a crazy addition to the game?
Access to a spot.
Bro, the legendary ship fights were fucking insane. And then customizing your ship and just sailing across the fucking ocean, just literally laying everybody the fuck out in open water once you had a fully upgraded ship. That shit was crazy.
It lands on this platform or the one above it, and Fury know that as well as anyone.
Absolutely, or even LG, where LG is right now with the survey beacon that we saw earlier. That's going to be a tough spot when you hold that rather early, especially when you're still with all full blues, but they still have a good amount.
Have an
of
issue with the leveling?
Poking potential from Sweet.
I mean, but bro, you fight the mythical beasts. You fight the Minotaur, Cyclops, Medusa. You go to Atlantis in the fucking DLC. Like, bro, the shit is just sick.
But so many squads have not wasted any time to get into where they predict this next circle is going to be pulled.
It was in EMEA last time that we saw.
Was the Megalodon there? No, but there were hella sharks in the water. Bro, one of the items that you get from a deep dive is literally Poseidon's spear. And that shit allows you to fucking swim underwater without ever having to go up for air. Like, come on, bro. The game was sick. The Medusa fight was crazy. The Minotaur and the Labyrinth, like, oh my god, bro. Don't even get me started. The game was fucking phenomenal. The game was fucking phenomenal.
Well, it looked a little awkward. Is one of the
and on top of that, you had the entire fucking, like, order that you killed from the people from the outside in, like, and the person that was the biggest, like, the last person you have to fight is your sister. Come on.
I mean, there's no follow potential here, but they do get the knock, which starts off everything. That is going to be Sentinels now closing in the gap onto E8. But don't fret. On the other side of this fight,
the story was just beautiful. And it's based out of all the Greek islands too, bro.
They paid for it as Sentinels lose out on one of their teammates, and Luda's trying to give them suppressed fire.
Sentinels had a rough day in the office, bro. They could not make a fucking rotate.
From the caustic ult that started it all, that just whiffed hitting a roof, to a super wide swing by Zenile. Sentinels were not on the same page, and a third party just exacerbated that problem. Oxygen are the beneficiaries of this, but Sentinels also didn't do a whole lot of damage on their push, so there's a big chance that E8 are able to reset inside this building and fend off Oxygen's engage.
Yeah, they could thank
Yo, what's up, Meredith?
for forcing Sentinels to back
Good
away
morning.
here.
This is game 7.
Key trades, knock for knock here, as now the rest of Oxygen
game
trying
7.
to see if they can get the reset. E8 now lose out on another. And with Aiden getting pinged from the other side, I don't think that one last straggler of E8 could really get the reset here, as Sentinels are looking to try to re-engage.
This fight is so messy, Vicky.
Did they poach Koi? No, Koi wanted to leave.
E8 still survive on the outside. Zap.
And he had a couple options, and he ended up picking
on World's Edge.
Except bought him out of his contract.
Oxygen managed to reset on the low ground. This is all the best that E8 can hope for, is to get away at this point, and they should be able to do just that with Zap having the head start that they already got.
Yo, Strings, thank you for the follow.
That one
Step Bro, thanks for the follow. And Milano, thank you for the follow.
To go away. I think Luda was able to get the banners maybe, because there's a Moby on the other side of wall that they could actually use to respawn the rest of their team. We're gonna have to see how that plays out for Sentinels. Yes, that one rat of Sentinels is gonna be able to get away. Again, not sure if he was able to get the banner, but would be absolutely huge if he could get the respawn. As we are looking at TSM's POV, to be a squad right in front of them. That's going to be Space Station that is now trying to rotate from Zeus. And this next circle is pulling right on top of TSM.
This is uncanny. Yeah, even LG, who were down in the low ground, and what we had
remember TSM
to be a god spot.
The 4 teams on match point are TSM, SSG, Legacy, and Moist. So TSM being in a really good spot here, for sure, being on match point. I think SSG and Moist are in decent spots too.
Not knowing how they'll deal with an ultimate push up to TSM.
Complexity died a lot, man.
Blues, but
they died early a lot.
We'll siege onto them. It's very hard to engage.
I know, Moist is not in a good spot. They're far.
And TSM have all the time in the world to hit purples off of damage alone.
And that's why they moved up in the way that they have. It's just Hal and Reps on one side. They've left Verhols to take control over the high ground, because being on the Valk, you could easily just fly right back up there. So he's going to take a look and put pressure onto the teams behind him. The rest of TSM now have moved back, but they put in the pressure that they need.
Please no spoilers, chat.
You see Hal now trying to
not everybody has seen or knows when this game is over, who wins, how many games it plays total. Nobody knows. So please don't spoil it for everybody just because you went and looked at it yourself.
The biggest problem, not just for TSM, but for any squad that actually wants a fighting chance at winning this game, uprooting SSG must be your #1 priority, as otherwise an uncontested rotate from Zeus will have very few other squads to deal with, and when we're running in a game that has as many Bangalores as this, they're going to be pretty darn impossible to shoot at as they approach you anyways. SSG for now just have to hang out, but this game,
damn, Sentinel's got a full reset, huh?
Aging really well.
I'm talking about Optic earlier. This is a team that needs to have an amazing game. Have to see how this plays out here for this squad, as they are going to be relying on the rock form, some natural cover here. It's going to be a TSM once again on the high ground, but they're right next to Sentinels over to their right. Furia that are neighboring them inside of that building that we saw them take place in earlier in the start of the game. And Legacy involved in a fight here too. Nizul was able to get the first knock on support for this fight.
The Devo Hemlock is just insane.
Should we be concerned about that? Legacy have definitely shown up with their team fighting chops today. Slide on by, collecting a quick KP before moving on to the rest of the fight. However, with Jaguar is down, it is just Jay standing in a 1v1 against Nazul. Yet another kill goes down, but drop in do ultimately fall. Legacy play that a little bit closer than I had imagined, but still come out literally and figuratively on top.
Like, you got 2 knocked though, so you're feeling yourself from that, but it may be too little too late as Legacy stay alive in this game while being on match point. 18 squads left, and Legacy approaching from the high ground here is really smart, considering that you could slide down to the choke that would open up to where TSM is on that high ground building, and Zeus Station, where Space Station will be rotating
Moist
from.
gonna fight
so
Yanya?
that Moist have taken note of, and they are now posted up on the high ground of Command Center, looking at Legacy through the bunker doors.
There is another flight in Legacy's future. There has to be. There's no way that Moist can actually rotate out of this without going through Legacy. Were they to jump down onto the low ground through Command Center, they're going to be eaten up by the next zone.
I used to play
way
Titanfall. I
that they
did.
Survive that. Instead, now
I
you've
did.
got to gamble. And I hesitate to say that it's a 50-50.
For both
Legacy,
Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2, I was like up there on like overall kills, like on the leaderboards and shit. I used to play game battles on Titanfall.
on a lot of uncanny bang smokes and caustic ults to get them
the
through.
reverse rotate?
In fact, they're not even going to risk it. This is a surprising turn of events. Moist are going to try and rotate over through Thunder Watch off an evac tower instead.
What up, Donkey?
This may work out, but there's an not insignificant chance, Vicky, that this does not work out at all. Let's find out as we jump into a listen in with Moist.
There's a team up the hill. I 100% saw someone.
I'm med-kitting. They're not in either. Do we have another
med-kitting
evac?
as well.
We got
Yes,
an evac.
med-kitting, I'm
We got a
med-kitting.
med-kit. Get up and we can look to evac from around the corner.
I don't know
Okay?
if we can get up empty. Our climb up is like
You can.
running
You
down.
can get up right here on me.
Okay. Wait, how did you climb that? Going?
You guys need to look stuck in evacs.
Down, back up.
We might have to take it for the zone.
Bang up. I'm gonna tank zone and take
You guys, I'm dead. You guys
Wow.
just go take it.
Wow.
I'm going now. I'm just
Holy
I'm
fuck.
just gonna fly in guild. Holy fuck, I got
You
beat
can
up.
land in one of these walls. If you land in this, you can play right there. Maybe.
Oh, there's a team in there.
Alright, you play yourself.
Well, that did not work
Holy
out as
fuck.
they expected at all. However, Vicky, I can say with confidence, we called it. This was not an easy rotate. And while Moist are technically
TSM
alive,
are
that is
in
a
God
temporary
spot.
status. Walled C survives just next to EEC as Legacy, I'm sure wondering what on earth happened to the squad behind them, go on and slide down the hill in a much better position. A lot of open space that they can play here, while still, albeit facing down SSG and Zoo Station.
Look, I think they can figure it out after Call seeing the two evac towers and then them beaming them right
So
in front
many
of them.
people are dying.
Moist were just sitting ducks at that point, but they have not been eliminated
Sentinels,
yet.
Oxygen,
Like,
Moist,
Isaac said that.
Furia,
As
Optic,
happened.
all
they
dead.
do get them, but not only that, but it was
EA
Sentinels,
dead. We went
Oxygen,
from 18
Optic,
squads to
Elevate.
12 on
Everyone
that zone
is
close.
dropping like flies. Yes, 12 squads left now.
And this is just the beginning, Becky.
TSM are an
when
absolute
we knew
god
that
spot.
Skulls were going to be cold moving up the hill. Yeah, we knew it was going to get this bad, and it'll get even tougher for squads that are approaching off the low
SSG in a
ground.
decent spot
Teams
too,
like
but
SSG.
you can see the zone chat. TSM is going to be on ultimate height, zone 5.
But for squads coming from low ground, the XSets, the LGs, the Ape Gangs, the Disguise,
They're the only
of
team
the
in the next
Bobby,
zone.
Their chances of survival through the next zone are next to zero.
This is crazy. I can't make this up. The circle's pulling directly on top of TSM. With 11 squads left in this lobby, Space Station now trying to take this fight. Let's jump into a listen with Space Station to prevent EEC from moving in.
Fine. They're getting shot on their side. They're gonna die. They're getting shot on their side. They cost to left. Crack. Oh, almost all cracked. They're pushing my left. I see them. Good.
cracked.
Yeah. They're not. One die. Chill. Batting. 17 seconds. Do we back up and we should back up? We should back up now. We should back up now.
I'm evac.
Yeah. Another team flying in close. I'm gonna throw an evac side.
Call mine in.
Yeah, call it. I'm throwing in over here. I'm calling mine in over here. Can you guys drop me a bat before we load? Drop me a bat. Yeah. Dropping you one. Okay. Go. No cost to go, by the way. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's see this rotation from SSG.
Look roof. Triple roof. Can we slam in their side? Yeah. Slam in their side.
Land there.
They're gonna fight buildings. They might fight buildings.
Getting downwards.
Yeah. I'm playing. Save on me.
Save on me. Team down low.
I'm popping all the fight. They fight high. Yeah. Here.
I'm chilling here. I need to play.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
We need to reset this for barrels. Okay. Yeah. I know. I am.
Low key, I don't know if someone was in the house.
We need to look down low.
They might have been able to scan
They just broke.
and just land inside bottom floor or
on
something.
my ping, all right?
No, they ran inside.
Love the comms that we're hearing from Space Station to make
Oh,
their
Yanya
safe
and them
rotate
take it.
out of the line of sight of
Wow.
TSM, one of those
So all
two
4
other
match
teams
point
now
teams
alive
aside from
in this
Moist. So
circle.
3 teams
AK,
are still
EC
alive.
get eliminated,
TSM,
and
Legacy,
TSM have the
and
high
SSG.
ground, with Legacy playing right underneath them and Space Station apart to
Ape
their
Gang
left
dead.
side. They have line of sight of this squad as they keep pressuring them out downhill.
It is not a massive problem yet, but TSM are running low on ammunition.
You gotta think that
they
this
don't
ends here.
actually have all the
3
time in the
three
world
match
to
point
sit up
teams
here.
out of 9 still
Eventually,
alive.
They're gonna have to move down and take some loot off of the squads below them. Squads that really haven't died
And
yet.
2 of the
There's only
9 are in
one
God
kill
spot.
for TSM so far. And at this point, on match point, that doesn't matter at all. TSM have to win the game.
This is actually insane. Game number 7, it may end here. We have to see TSM holding height. Legacy inside the other match point team.
Oh my God.
While Dark Zero are fighting for their lives, trying to gatekeep C9 from
this zone is
out
ass,
of the
bro.
tunnel. Xset get eliminated.
This zone
sucks. 7
sucks.
squads left. The Disguise beat them back in
Xset,
the
DSG
lobby.
dead.
And as Xset goes down, they've got to be scared, because the chances that this game ends, that this match day ends here and now are increasing, and Xset's chances of going to LAN have not. TSM still up on high ground, still running ever lower, maybe losing a lot of valuable endgame resources to Legacy in the meantime. There's a really big, not insignificant chance, Vicky, that Legacy come up from below and straight up win this game simply because of the additional resources they'll have.
That would be absolutely insane. Even Luminosity,
Easy
that's
and
off to the
C9
side.
now.
Yes, they're still full blue
SSG
here,
gonna
but
be
they can
fucking
gatekeep the
thirding
teams
it.
that are fighting to the south. Dark Zero now versus C9. They cleaned them up.
The
and
whole
now
stink
SSG
wall
are
over
looking
here by
directly at them,
Frex.
but they have to look to their backs. They are still getting pressured out by TSM that have high ground. And now Dark Zero are forced to meet against Native Gaming on the low ground.
SSG
100%
really unlikely
donkey.
to
That's why
fully
match
win
point
the
is
game.
goated.
From here, we haven't seen a team win from that low ground.
Match point
in a
is
zone
fucking
like this
goated.
since Horizon was in meta, and I don't see anybody running Horizon right now. So access to the height will be almost impossible. SSG are going to climb that hill no matter what. However, getting themselves closer to the end game and technically in zone. 4
How did
teams are
LG
left.
not get God spot before TS ended? I mean, they might not have had Beacon. I'm not too sure. It must not have had Beacon.
That win this game in order to push us to another match.
They just got to purple now after all the chaos from the south side.
Yeah, you got 3 match point teams out of 4.
TSM on the high
It's
ground.
definitely over here,
Legacy
bro.
right below them.
It's fucking
Space
definitely
Station,
over.
Who are also on match point over to the side, while Luminosity may save the day.
But this is the kind of shit that, like, at LAN, if this happened, everybody in the arena would be shitting everywhere. Everybody would be cheering. The vibes would be through the fucking roof. Everybody would have goosebumps because they know it's going to be over here, but they don't know who's going to win it.
Troubles have been solved. There was
That's why match point goes fucking crazy for situations like this.
Majority of the damage in close range fights like this. So TSM, at least in good hands resource-wise, still do have to worry about their positioning. Taking a look at the zone, we're actually moving straight on top of Luminosity, who now have to play defense as they had set themselves up to do from the very beginning. With the Caustic in hand, much like many others, they should be able to do it, but Luminosity have yet to win a game during the regional finals. Then they've got to do it now.
Yeah, so she gets torched here.
Yanya gets the knock
Wingman, sheesh.
Zul's trying to take a different off angle.
Literally
wingman,
wingman,
they can't fully
sheesh.
commit to this fight. They know if they give up this space, it is GG here with LG looking at them straight in the face.
And Legacy do not have to worry about anything. They've got so
Sweet,
much
and then
more
probably pick up
cover
the last one.
than a team like SSG on the low ground. A single member left, and Legacy will eventually have to pick one of 2 possible exits from this building. They can wait on that decision, however, as they're gonna have plenty of
SSG
squads
dead?
exiting the lobby.
TSM on the
TSM
ultimate
now
high
decide,
ground
do they
here,
deal
bro.
With LG first? Do they deal with Legacy first? Because the choice is theirs, but it is not an enviable one. The third parties are real in end games like this.
They're waiting for it, but this is something to come into question. The compositions. The Valkyrie doesn't have a lot of utility in end zone like this, even with her purple Evo Shield perk, but they do have the ability to get onto that high ground here as Verhos takes some shots at LG moving in. They're taking onto the low ground, and evac towers.
Yanya and LG are probably going to be forced to fight. And then TSM just jump off late.
TSM are trying to split their attention to the squad right below. Because if they take this evac tower, they can get right on top of them.
TSM can take the middle ground right now. They don't want to give up height too soon, but a huge Bangalore roll rips through TSM. Very low health bars, but they're still...
And they land here. Oh, yeah,
dropping onto the
GG's.
middle ground. It's TSM looking down on the clash of Legacy and Luminosity. Everyone knows they're on height, but they can't do much about it. Luminosity are hiding, Legacy are hiding, and eventually TSM are going to have to come down. Hal throws in a nice shot.
Everybody has to fight. TSM win it with ease.
TSM win on match point.
TSM, your
Easy.
Split 1 regional final winners. They do it again as they have so many times. But what a final circle.
Well done.
Final game 7 that we just had right there, Dia.
I'm pretty sure Sweet and them didn't have beacon, so that's why they weren't on height. Because they should have prio on that.
That was ludicrous. And I mean, tell me if you saw something different.
But TSM played well. They were pretty solid. Almost all the games that were just about top 5, they played solid for regional finals.
What I was worried about was how taking as much damage as he did before dropping down to the low ground, knowing that yes, he popped the shield bat, but it was his health, his raw health that I was worried about, because we knew there was a caustic in the end circle. We knew we saw
maybe sometime this week coming up, I could do a VOD review of Hal's whole POV and just VOD review TSM's games in general.
opting to rotate from the bottom side because they knew if they rotated from outside the building, their heads would be exposed to TSM on the high ground, since that would be the last thing there. What a way to play that final circle. That is why TSM stays on top as we bring back Rain Day to break down all the action that we just saw. But what an ending to the day, Rain Day.
All right, chat.
What an ending to the day. What a...
That's going to do it for me.